Coming up next, would you want a data center built next to your farm? We're going to talk with Houston and Katie Howlett from Kentucky and find out what was built next to theirs. Farm ground. It is so sacred to farmers and ranchers. You hear this talk about data centers, about solar farms, about wind turbines, and farmers get a little ruffled because it affects what we do. Well, today's guests have firsthand experience with that. We're going to be talking with Katie and Houston Howlett. How you guys doing?
Doing well.
Good.
Yeah. You're from Glendale, Kentucky.
Yes,
where's that at?
It's about 45 minutes south of Louisville. If anybody's familiar with the Louisville Farm Machinery Show, we just go straight down to I-65.
Mm-hmm. And you guys are farming there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a corn soybean operation about 1,500 acres, and we now share property lines on 3 sides with the battery plant you mentioned.
So battery plant. So this is basically what every farmer kind of fears, right? That huge building moving into the neighborhood. So when did you know about this?
So we actually decided to move to the farm. We'd been farming. We lived in town in 2022 timeframe. And we were sitting in our brand new house, or like the framing of it, and the announcement was made that they were building 2 96-acre battery plants. So it's 96 acres under roof.
The building is
Yes.
96 acres.
Yeah.
Times 2.
Whew.
Yeah.
How far from your house?
It's probably, let it crow flies, maybe half a mile, 3/4 of a mile. It's right, but we've got perfect clear view right off our front porch.
So you can see it.
Oh,
Yeah, it's straight across a field, corn and bean field. So it is right there in front of us. So they announced that they were building these 2 massive plants, and overnight farm ground shot through the roof. You know, suddenly every farm is industrial ground.
Yeah.
All those things that you hear about in the news, but you hope it never happens to you.
Yeah. So your house isn't even finished yet, and you hear this news. Are you sitting there in your unfinished house going, that's what we're going to look at for the rest of our lives?
There are a lot of tears.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah, definitely.
And as far as like the farming is concerned, was any of that ground that was being used, were you farming that?
I wasn't personally farming it. It had been changed hands over the years who had farmed it, but it was farm ground prior to being converted to a battery plant.
You move something like that into a neighborhood, what's it do to farm prices and like farms and ranches willing to sell?
The land market has been crazy. There's been a lot of drama surrounding the whole industry there and what they're building, and land market has really not realized itself. There's not been a whole lot actually move. There's for sale signs everywhere. A lot of infrastructure changes that are happening, and power lines and water lines, and a lot of eminent domain. So there's been a lot of argument over that. But with all the drama that's happening, lands have gone from anywhere from worth $250,000 an acre down to $50,000 an acre, back up to $250,000 an acre. It just depended on what's happening at that day. With the plant and how things are moving forward as to what the land prices are going. But right now we haven't actually seen a whole lot move, but everything's for sale.
Yeah. Do they light that sucker up at night?
Oh my gosh, it's so bright. The light pollution from it, I joke, you can't really even see the stars at our house anymore because there's so much light coming off of those buildings.
We need to hold those people accountable for what appeared to be a major failure.
The closest town to us, Elizabethtown, has seen a ton of growth. 5,000 plus new apartments built in speculation of this, restaurants, stores, all those types of things. So that growth too has put a lot of pressure on the farms that border town. So it's kind of just pushing what is the town, down more towards where we live, which, used to be kind of a Y in the road.
Yeah. So are these things, is it constant traffic? Are they pumping out batteries? What's the story?
So it's actually interesting. It was a nightmare during construction. I mean, what used to be a 10-minute drive suddenly took you 45 minutes because of traffic. Now that the construction has died off, this particular plant has had a ton of drama associated with it. It was a joint venture between Ford Motor Company and a Korean company. It's been very up and down. And they've actually, both of the buildings, the joint venture announced a couple months ago that it was dissolving. So they laid off 1,600 people. Now our community has these 2 huge 96-acre buildings, and supposedly Ford is going to retool them to build battery storage systems for data centers. That's obviously not a market that Ford Motor Company is in today. So I will say, I think that's been some of the stress from the town, is specifically what they're building. Like if they were going to build airplanes or, you know, something that you're like, oh, okay, that's an industry that we feel good about, you know, maybe the town wouldn't be so upset. But the batteries, the chemicals, all those types of things are a big concern for us.
Do these battery plants, do they increase fertility?
No. See, well, we were hoping, and you could tell the story better. At first, when there were some rumors that there was going to be something built, and we thought that they were going to put bourbon distilleries in.
Oh,
Yeah.
Or a bourbon distillery, I'm not sure, but that was the rumor that was going, that was buzzing, and you know that felt good for agriculture, right? You know, there's not going to be a whole lot of lights going associated with that type of industry, and they could buy our product, right?
Yeah.
So it was. We also liked the byproduct of what they produce, but you know, it was quite a flip whenever we found out it was going to be a lithium-ion battery plant.
You guys both grew up on a farm? Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
What kind of farm did you grow up on, Houston?
Dad had a feeder cattle operation that he fed to fats all while I was growing up. Originally, it was a dairy farm. My grandfather had a dairy farm there at the home place, and then Dad retired the dairy farm when I was born 35 years ago and started the beef cattle operation. We had small beef cattle with 300 head and some row crops that supported that, and that's I was raised right there on raising beef cattle and feeding cattle and using the old infrastructure from the dairy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Katie, tell us about the farm that you grew up on.
Yeah, I grew up on a couple 100-acre farm. My dad had an off-farm job, but he also ran a pretty large number of cow-calf pairs, you know, for a part-time farmer. And then on top of that, my dad also has a relatively large draft horse breeding operation. So he raises mules and draft horses.
Raises mules
Yes.
and draft horses.
Yep.
A mule is a horse and a donkey.
Yes, it is a male donkey and a female horse bred together.
But not a draft horse, right?
Yeah.
A donkey and a draft horse. Because I'm thinking, let's see, a draft horse, right, is pretty big, and a donkey is pretty. How does that work?
Well, there's a breeding pit that they can go in.
Oh, you put the horse down.
Yeah, so
and
they
then-
can go down, or the donkey can come up, that sort of thing. Depending on how big the donkey is, you know, you could have a 15-hand jack. So, I mean
It's a family show.
sometimes it works.
How can you believe anything that's being said at this point? There's no trust left.
Okay, obviously, this is a big topic in agriculture right now, these centers moving in. Any advice if a farmer or rancher is, you know, looking at their unbuilt house and they hear this news? Any advice for them?
I think to just take it in stride. I mean, it definitely, it's a roller coaster of emotions when it happens. I think you have to evaluate your situation. For us, that means that I felt like we were good at analysis and books and financial numbers and those types of things before. We've gotten better as a result of this, of really trying to, you know, punch the numbers and make sure we're making the right key decisions, because what would be the traditional farm path of like, oh, we're going to buy a farm, build more bins, build a leg, buy this infrastructure, no longer really works.
Yeah.
So you have to be willing to really adapt your business to meet the needs and adjust to do those things.
Yeah. Well, guys, I want to thank you for coming in, because this is a topic that has seemed like it's really dominated this year. And obviously, farmers and ranchers are really concerned about it. And I wouldn't want one coming in my neighborhood either. It's just the way it is. It's good to hear that you guys are navigating it. And I don't know, hopefully a tornado when they're empty and nobody's there, right? Or something like that.
That place has caught on fire once or twice.
Was that you?
No.
Well, Katie and Houston, I want to thank you guys for coming. Appreciate
so
it very
much.
much, and good luck with all your future endeavors.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
us. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Thanks for spending time with us on Shark Farmer TV. For more stories about people in agriculture, catch my shows on Rural Radio, Channel 147, Sirius XM. There's more in-depth discussion on my podcast, and of course, you can always check out previous episodes of this show on my YouTube channel. Find out more at sharkfarmer.com.